Today we're going to delve into something incredibly important, and that's walking safely and confidently, especially as we get older. We'll explore everything from maintaining a posture that grounds you like a mighty oak to mastering foot movements that flow like a graceful waltz. These small adjustments can significantly reduce your risk of falls and boost your independence. Stay tuned until the end, because you'll discover actionable strategies you can implement today to feel stronger, steadier, and more vibrant regardless of your age. Let's begin this journey together. A healthier, more fulfilling life awaits. If you find this information helpful, consider sharing it with others who might benefit. And, to ensure you never miss out on future insights that can enrich your life, be sure to enable notifications for timely updates. Now, let's get started with posture. Posture is the cornerstone of safe walking, particularly for older adults aiming to minimize the risk of falls. Statistics show that falls affect a significant percentage of individuals over 65 each year. Imagine yourself as a towering, resilient tree, both strong and adaptable, with roots extending deep into the earth for stability and branches reaching skyward, absorbing the sun's warmth. When you stand tall, with relaxed shoulders and your head held high, you not only project confidence but also establish a solid foundation for each step you take. I like to think of it as an invisible thread gently lifting you from the crown of your head, creating a natural elevation. It's not about adopting a rigid, soldier-like stance or straining yourself. It's about finding a balanced position that feels both powerful and effortless. Good posture not only enhances stability, but also transforms your self-perception, instilling confidence to navigate your day with pride. I'll always remember my dear friend Rose, a former ballet dancer. She possessed an extraordinary elegance, even as her hair turned silver and wrinkles lined her face. She once shared with me, "It's not simply about looking good, it's about feeling grounded." That wisdom has stayed with me. Rose explained that even slight slouching can shift our center of gravity forward, making us resemble a precarious stack of books on a shaky table, ready to tumble with the slightest nod. However, when we stand tall, chest open, and shoulders relax, we create a firm base, transforming each step into a fluid, secure motion. I witnessed this firsthand in Rose. Even in her later years, she walked with a captivating grace and vitality. For older adults, this is especially crucial because our bodies become less forgiving with age. Small habits, such as hunching while walking, shrugging our shoulders against the cold, or simply forgetting to stand up straight, can subtly increase the likelihood of losing our balance. Have you ever noticed yourself shuffling along with slumped shoulders, as if carrying an invisible weight? I once knew a neighbor, Mr. Hung, who habitually walked with a stoop. He explained that he didn't want to overdo it, thinking it might look odd. But after I encouraged him to stand taller, take a deep breath, and visualize himself rising like a tree in the breeze, he was astonished by the difference. "I had no idea such a small change could make my legs feel so steady," he remarked. The good news is that anyone can improve their posture, regardless of age. You don't need to overhaul everything overnight or push yourself too hard. Just dedicate a few minutes each day to standing in front of a mirror, breathing deeply, rolling your shoulders back, and lifting your head. Imagine yourself stretching upward like a tree at sunrise, strong and full of life. Over time, it will feel natural and your body will adapt on its own. Posture isn't just about preventing falls, it's a gift that extends far beyond, fostering a sense of confidence and independence, empowering you to tackle whatever life throws your way. Give it a try today, because every time you stand tall, you are taking a step toward a healthier, freer, more fulfilling life. You deserve that at any age. Now, let's move on to arm movement. If posture is the foundation that keeps you steady, like a tall, strong tree with deep roots and high branches, then arm movement is the natural rhythm that keeps you balanced as you walk through life. Picture yourself as a conductor leading an orchestra, standing tall with your chest open, arms swinging smoothly up and down, guiding every note in perfect harmony. As you walk, your arms should move in the same way. As your right leg steps forward, your left arm swings ahead, then as your left leg steps, your right arm follows. It's not just a random motion or something to look good, it's how your body naturally steadies itself, a built-in balance system we sometimes forget to use. When you have that good posture I talked about, shoulders relaxed and standing tall, letting your arm swing comes easily, like wings gently lifting each step to feel more secure. I still think about Mr. Thompson, an old friend I met a few years back. He'd always walk with his arms stiff at his sides, looking like a soldier marching down a quiet street. One day, I couldn't help but ask, "Why don't you let your arms swing a little?" He chuckled and said, "I don't want to look like I'm in a rush. Besides, I'm old now, why bother showing off?" That simple answer made me laugh, but I knew he didn't realize that keeping his arms still was quietly making him more wobbly. I nudged him to try, Pretend you're strolling through a field of grass, arms moving like a breeze. Give it a shot. He humoured me, and after just a few steps, his eyes lit up. I didn't expect it to feel this different, he said. It's like walking's easier, steadier. I'm not so scared of tipping over. From then on, he started paying attention to swinging his arms with the steps, and he told me every walk felt more like a relaxing outing than a challenge. For older folks, forgetting to swing your arms while walking is pretty common. Maybe we feel self-conscious, worry it looks silly, or just lose touch with how our bodies moved naturally when we were younger. But think about it, every time you take a step, your body's like a seesaw. One leg moves, and the opposite arm swings to keep you from tipping. If your arms stay glued to your sides, it's like walking a tightrope without a railing, way easier to stumble. I once knew Mrs. Lawn, a neighbour who'd walk with her arms pinned tight because she thought swinging them would tire her out. After I explained it's how the body protects itself, she gave it a try. A few days later, she grinned, I'm walking faster now, and I don't feel off balance anymore. So how do you start? It's simple. Once you've got that top posture, shoulders loose, let your arms hang free and swing lightly with your steps. Don't overdo it or force big motions, just let it flow naturally, like when you were a kid running around the yard. Try walking around the house, imagining you're strolling down a flower path, arms moving like a cool breeze. Soon it'll feel second nature, and your body will thank you for the harmony. Taking good posture with natural arm swings doesn't just lower your fall risk, it brings lightness, a confidence, like you're working with your strength and joy. Give it a go today, because every swing is a beat of life, carrying you further on your journey. Let a Eurostrade talk about foot movement. If arm movement is the natural rhythm keeping you balanced, like a conductor guiding an orchestra through every note, then foot movement is the key step that carries you forward safely and steadily. Walking, when you break it down, is like a simple dance with two parts: the moment your foot hits the ground, called the stance phase, and the moment it swings forward for the next step, the swing phase. Each step needs one foot planted firmly, like an anchor holding a boat steady, while the other glides ahead. To pull this off, your heel should hit the ground first, then roll smoothly to your toes, creating a fluid motion. When your arms are already swinging in rhythm, as I mentioned, landing on your heel the right way adds even more stability, letting you walk without worrying about tripping. I think back to Miss S. Johnson, an old friend with a ton of grit. She used to shuffle along, barely lifting her feet, because she thought tiny steps were safer. I'm just trying to be careful, she'd say. That shuffling made her more likely to stumble. One day, I suggested she try landing on her heel first, like stepping onto the soft sand, then letting her foot roll naturally to her toes. She hesitated at first, but after a few steps, she lit up. I feel so much steadier, like I'm connected to the ground. From then on, she paid attention to every step, and that small shift didn't just make her walk stronger, it brought her a kind of joy, like she was rediscovering her own feet. For older folks, a lot of us end up stepping with our toes first or shuffling out of fear of falling, but that backfires. When you lead with your toes, your foot doesn't clear the ground enough to get past little obstacles. It's like walking on a slick floor with no grip. I once knew Mr. Nom who'd step toe first because he thought it was faster. After nearly tripping over a rug edge, he agreed to try the heel first trick. He was shocked. I'm not catching my feet anymore. Landing on your heel sets the stage for every step, like laying a solid foundation before building a house. If it's not steady, the whole thing wobbles. Even more, when your heel hits and rolls to your toes, your body weight shifts naturally to the standing leg, striking a perfect balance. Paired with the swinging arms, it's like your body turns into a little machine, working in sync. But plenty of seniors, maybe out of habit or worry, start walking with their feet wide apart, thinking it's more stable. I remember Mr. Hoare who'd stride with his feet spread out, saying, "This feels solid to me." When I encouraged him to bring his feet closer and let his weight shift properly, he found he moved easier. No more heavy, clunky feeling. To practice, start by walking slowly, focusing on landing your heel first, like leaving prints on a sandy beach. Picture each step as a beat, sinking in, with your arms swinging light, like you're waltzing at your own pace. Over time, it'll click, and every step will feel like a quiet boost of confidence and independence. For older adults, this small tweak doesn't just cut your fall risk, it gives you a sense of freedom, like you're walking on your own, strong and full of life. Give it a try today, because every right step brings you closer to a healthier, fuller life. Next, practice exercises. If foot movement is the graceful dance step that keeps you gliding safely through your day with your heel touching down first to ground each stride, as I've explained, then exercises are the rehearsals that make those steps feel instinctive, stronger, smoother, and more self-assured. Walking isn't just about nailing the perfect foot placement, it demands strength and flexibility to maintain balance, qualities you can cultivate with straightforward exercises right in your own home. You don't need fancy equipment or hours of effort, just a sprinkle of consistency and attention, like water in a garden to coax it into full bloom. Once you've mastered landing on your heel and rolling forward to your toes, these exercises kick things up a notch, transforming every step into a steady, purposeful motion that feels as natural as breathing. I think of Miss S. Clara, an old neighbour with a quiet patience that could calm anyone. She used to tell me she couldn't take long strides because she feared losing her balance, and even after learning to plant her heel first, she worried that her legs were too frail to keep up. I suggested a simple drill, stroll around the house, concentrating on pressing her heel firmly into the floor, like leaving crisp footprints in wet sand at the beach. Imagine each step as a bold stamp, I told her. She chuckled, saying it felt a tad ridiculous, but after a few days, her eyes lit up with surprise. I'm not just walking better, my legs feel sturdier. This exercise, practiced in a mindful heel strike, is a fantastic way to get cozy with the right rhythm, letting your feet lock into the flowing motion without second-guessing every move. Another gem I love to share is the single leg stand, or what I jokingly call flamingo mode. You can steady yourself with a table or chair if you're wobbly. Lift one leg for a few seconds, then switch sides. I once showed this to Mr. Henry, a longtime pal of mine. He grumbled at first, I'll topple over standing on one leg, forget it. But when he gave it a shot, clutching the chair just enough, he soon held the pose longer each time. I feel like him reclaiming my strength. He said, flashing a proud grin, "This isn't just a balance booster, it pumps up your leg muscles, dovetailing perfectly with the weight shift you kick off with a solid heel landing. Then there's tandem walking, heel to toe, like you're tracing an invisible tightrope across the floor. Set your heel smack in front of your toes, as if you're tracking a slim path." I recall MS Rose, who got a kick out of practicing this in her kitchen, using the tile lines as her guide. "It's like I'm doing a little dance." She laughed. It was shaky at first, but she stuck with it, and soon her steps grew fluid, less unsteady. This exercise sharpens your footwork, honing your control and syncing your legs with the rest of you, building on that foundation of mindful movement. The trick is to keep at it, just a handful of minutes daily, heel strikes, single leg stands, or heel to toe strolling, and you'll spot a real shift. I saw it with Mr. Tom, a guy who was always jittery about falling. After a few weeks of steady practice, he lit up with a smile. "I'm not scared to head outside anymore." These exercises don't just toughen your legs, they spark a surge of confidence, like you're forging resilience from the core outward. Teamed up with the heel-first approach I mentioned earlier, your body starts humming like a finely tuned engine, primed for whatever path lies ahead. Start today, because every minute you invest is a gift to your freedom and happiness, no matter how many candles are on your cake. Let's Trade S discuss the use of support tools. If exercises are the disciplined drills that train your legs to move with purpose and assurance, like practicing heel strikes to perfect your stride or balancing on one leg to build resilience and stability, as I described earlier, then assistive devices, like a cane or walker, are the reliable companions that ensure you stay steady throughout the journey. Those exercises carve out the foundation, strengthening your muscles and sharpening your coordination over time, but as the years roll on and your legs start to feel the weight of age, your body might call for a little extra support. That's where a cane or walker comes in, not as a white flag of defeat, but as a clever ally, much like picking up a sturdy hiking stick before tackling a rugged mountain trail. Far from holding you back, these tools lift you, empowering you to savor life's moments without the nagging worry of a stumble or fall. Take Mr. James, an old friend of mine who was fiercely proud of his independence. He used to brush off the idea of using a cane, insisting, "I'm not that old yet, I can manage just fine." But after I introduced him to heel-to-toe walking exercises to boost his balance, he began to see that even with stronger legs, some days still left him feeling a bit unsteady. I sat him down one afternoon and said, "Look, don't think of the cane as an enemy trying to tie you down. You've already done the tough part with those exercises. Now picture the cane as a loyal body that's got your back, helping you stretch your limits a little further." Skeptical but curious, he gave it a try, taking the cane for a spin around his backyard. A few minutes in, a grin crept across his face as he admitted, "This feels good, I'm not wobbling like I used to." From that day on, he'd grab his cane for his afternoon garden strolls, not because he'd grown weak, but because he wanted to enjoy every step to its fullest, soaking in the sights and smells of his little green haven. It's a common thread I've noticed. Plenty of older folks hesitate to embrace assistive devices, worried they signal a loss of independence or a surrender to time. I once chatted with Mrs. Emma, a spry woman with a sharp wit, who confessed, "Picking up a cane feels like I'm admitting defeat to getting old." I leaned in and asked her, if you were out hiking a long, winding trail and your knees started aching, would you feel bad about grabbing a stick to lighten the load? She paused, then nodded thoughtfully. Exactly, I continued. A cane or walker isn't here to rob you of your strength. It's here to hand you more freedom, to keep doing what you love. To prove it, we paired her single leg balance exercises with a cane for support. Soon enough, she was striding farther than before, no longer fretting over uneven sidewalks or sneaky curbs. That's the magic of this duo. Exercises fortify your inner strength, while assisted devices act like a trusty safety net, catching you when the world gets a little too unpredictable. Imagine yourself strolling through a sun-dappled park, the warmth kissing your shoulders, a gentle breeze rustling your hair. With a cane in hand, you're not dragging your feet or shrinking back. It's there to help you sidestep potholes, steady you on slopes, and keep you tall when the path turns tricky. I've seen this firsthand with MS, Lily, a woman who lived in her garden. After practicing slow, deliberate walks at home to rebuild her confidence, she added a walker to her routine. I refused to be stuck indoors staring at walls, she told me one day, her eyes sparkling with determination. This worker gets me out to my roses and daisies, and I don't have to stress about taking a tumble. Assistive devices aren't shackles or dead ends. They're keys that unlock small, precious joys you might have thought were slipping beyond your grasp. Here's the heart of it. There's no shame in reaching for that support. A cane or walker isn't a weight to carry, it's a teammate in your corner. When you pair them with exercises like heel strikes, tandem walking, or even simple leg lifts, you've got a winning combination. The workouts chisel away at your weaknesses from the inside, building muscle and balance, while the devices stand guard on the outside, offering stability when fatigue or uneven ground creeps in. I think of Mr. Jack, a gruff but kind man, who resisted a cane at first, muttering, "I don't want people gawking at me like I'm frail." But after giving it a whirl during one of our walks, he straightened up and said, "You know what? I feel tougher with this thing. I'm still out here walking my path." That's the real essence of assistive devices. They're not about caving to age or weakness. They're about digging in your heels and refusing to let go of the life you want to live. So, picture them as part of the adventure, not a detour or a downgrade, but a practical piece of gear for the road ahead. Every step you take, whether it's with a cane tapping beside you or a walker rolling along, is a testament to your grit and your stubborn will to keep moving forward. Age might slow your pace, but with the right tools and a little determination, it'll never steal your drive to live boldly and fully, one confident stride at a time. Less a year of straight S discuss creating a safe environment. If assistive devices, like canes or walkers, are your trusty sidekicks, helping you stride with confidence on days when your legs need a break, as I've mentioned, then setting up a safe environment is the next step to shield you from hidden risks, making every step a worry-free experience. A cane or walker can keep you steady, but if you're surrounded by uneven paths, cluttered floors, or dim lighting, even those faithful helpers can only do so much. A safe environment is like setting the stage for play. You clear the way, turn up the lights, and make sure everything's ready so you can shine without tripping up. For older adults, this isn't just about being cautious, it's about holding onto your independence and finding joy in every moment. I think of Mr. Davis, an old neighbor with a gorgeous garden. He loved tending his plants, but he'd often stumble over hoses or tools scattered along the path. "It's just a little mess, no big deal," he'd say. But one day, he nearly fell after snagging a coiled hose, and I couldn't stand by anymore. We teamed up to tidy it, hoses hung neatly, tools tucked away, walkway wide open. He was floored. I had no idea a few changes could make walking this easy. From then on, he'd head out to the garden with his cane every day. No more stress, just soaking in the flowers and sunshine. A safe environment turned his garden into a real haven, a place where he could move freely. For seniors, the little things at home or outside can make or break your safety. A slippery rug, a hallway packed with stuff, or a poorly lit path can turn into silent troublemakers. I once visited Miss Estau's place where the stairs were pitch black from a burnt-out bulb. "I'm used to it, it's fine," she said. But when I swapped in a new bulb, light flooded the space, and she smiled. "Now I can see every step, no more guessing." Good lighting is a game changer, especially at night when your eyes aren't as sharp. Paired with a cane or walker, a bright space boosts your confidence, like the whole house is rolling out the welcome mat for your steps. Outdoors, stick to smooth, flat paths and steer clear of bumpy sidewalks or overgrown weeds. I remember MS, Lene, who loved her morning walks but always fretted over the rough trail near her place. I suggested she switch to a nearby park, smooth pavement, good lights, and she lit up. I walk so much easier now, no more nerves. Cane shines even brighter when the environment doesn't throw curveballs. And don't sleep on shoes, they're like a second helper after your cane. A comfy pair with a good grip keeps you grounded, like picking the right tires for a road trip. Creating a safe environment isn't just about decluttering or flipping a switch, it's how you take care of yourself from all angles. I've seen Mr. Tom who used to leave stuff all over his house nearly topple after tripping on a chair. After we rearranged furniture, neat path was clear, he said, I didn't know my house could feel this open. With his walker and the new setup, every step got lighter. That's the magic. When you've got a Kano walker from those practice days, a safe space takes it to the next level, letting you move without fear. Take a look around your place today. Are any cords in the way? Is the lighting bright enough? Is the path to the yard slick? A few minutes of tweaking, clearing clutter, swapping bulbs, adding non-slip mass, and you'll feel the difference. For older folks, this isn't just about convenience, it's how you hang on to your freedom. Teamed up with a Kano walker, a safe environment is your promise that you can step out and dozer out with joy and peace of mind. Start now, because every small fix is a big gift to your health and happiness, letting you live full out at any age. Finally, let a Euros Trade S consider overall health. If a safe environment is a stage you've cleared and lit up to walk with confidence, like how tidy path and good lighting supports every step with a Kano walker, as I've mentioned, then holistic health is the biggest symphony where every part is circumflex Euros physical, mental, and emotional is circumflex Euros plays into to keep you steady and full of life. A neat, almost smooth sidewalk can help you avoid falls, but if your body's low on fuel, your mind's stressed out, or your sleep's all over the place, you might still feel off balance, even in a perfect setup. Holistic health isn't just about walking safely, it's how you care for yourself inside and out, like a conductor guiding each instrument to create a beautiful melody, letting you live your best life at any age. I think of Miss Nancy, an old friend with a lot of spunk. She lived in a cozy little house, all organised with clear paths and a cane always handy, but she'd complain, I still feel wiped out, like I've got no pep. Turns out she was skimping on meals, barely sleeping, and stressing over her grandkids. I told her, your place is safe. Now time to look after yourself. Try some greens, a glass of milk and more chai. She laughed, saying she wasn't used to it, but after a few weeks, adding calcium from milk, sleeping soundly, and chilling out with a few minutes of meditation, she was amazed. I feel stronger, and walking's a breeze now. Holistic health filled in the missing piece, making our safe space work even better. Physical health is the bedrock. A balanced diet, packed with calcium from milk or cheese and vitamin D from sunshine or fruit, keeps your bones solid, giving your legs the oomph to stride across those cleared paths. I once met Mr. Henry who kept cramping up from poor nutrition. His house was bright, he used a cane religiously, but his legs were shaky. After I suggested more fish and some morning sun, he said, no more leg pain, I'm walking steadily now. Good foods are like gas in the tank, letting you make the most of the safe space you've set up. Sleep's just as big. When you rest well, your body recharges, your mind sharpens, and every step gets surer. I recall Miss Linda who'd stay up late watching TV in her tidy home. She'd say, I can't sleep, just toss and turn. But when she tried switching off early, sipping chamomile tea, and keeping her room dark and quiet, mirroring how she kept her daytime paths lit, she noted, I'm sleeping like a log, and walking's not exhausting anymore. Solid sleep reloads your battery, turning your safe environment into a place where you thrive, not just step. Mental and emotional health tie it all together. When you're stressed or anxious, your balance can slip, even with a clutter-free home and a cane in hand. I've seen Mr. Tom who lived in a spotless space but fretted over his health. I'm scared of falling, even with nothing in the way, he'd say. I suggested he sit still, take deep breaths, or play some soft tunes, little things to calm his mind. A few days later, he grinned, I feel lighter and I'm walking with more guts. Mindfulness or meditation doesn't just relax you, it boosts coordination, making every step on your safe path rock solid. Holistic health is the whole package, a good meal, a deep sleep, a calm mind. They all blend to lift you, just like a safe environment amps up a Kano walker. I think of Mrs. Helen who once thought getting old meant slowing down, but when she started eating right, hitting the sack on time, and chatting happily with friends in her bright, tidy home, she said, I can't believe I'm still trucking along like this. She used a cane, but holistic health let her cross her yard fear-free, soaking up the sun and birdsong. Start today, add a glass of milk to breakfast, turn off the lights early for good sleep, and take a few minutes to breathe deep in the peaceful space you've made. For seniors, this isn't just self-care, it's grabbing life by the horns. A safe environment is your launchpad, but holistic health is the rocket fuel to soar. Every small tweak, a bite of food, a sneeze, a smile, is a note in your symphony helping you walk, whether indoors or out, with strength and joy. Give it a whirl now, because you deserve to live strong and happy no matter your age.